Hello and welcome back to the RaidCall EMS 1 Fall Finals here in Poland. We're about to start the second group of today. And with that, of course, we need some teams. So for the first match, we're going to have Vici Gaming going up against the French powerhouse AAA. And that's definitely going to be an interesting one to open the whole thing up. And for that, we want to introduce the teams for you. So here is the first one.
Everyone should know that VG is a new team, and we are very excited and very happy to join EMS in Poland. So we have confidence to play very well in this tournament, and everybody just look forward to our play.
My teammate is strong, and we all have confidence. I think we can get the champion.
We have made a lot of preparation, but I think it's a very big secret for you, so just look.
VG 现在每个人都打得比较认真，不像以前一样吧。
Oh, it is very hard for us to get a visa, but our boss helped us a lot in 3 days, and we get a visa. So it's amazing, very good, and very well both.
And that is going to be the first team we're going to see of the second group. So please welcome here on stage, Vici Gaming. Well, I'm just not going to say anything. Apparently, they can't wait to get the game rolling. That's just so funny. We totally practiced that. However, we're just going to skip that first interview because, honestly, we really just wanted to see the first game. So how about we take a look at our second team?
Right now we're all living together. We just recently moved in. We just got a gaming house. Basically, we all wanted to do this full time, and we came about the subject a few months back, and we just very recently moved in, like a few weeks ago.
Our playstyle right now, as I said, we are trying to find it because we changed the role. So I don't really know, because we are really trying to find what makes, what would work with the team as it is right now, with the new roles. So I can't really tell for our playstyle. We're just gonna try what we think, what we like, the heroes we like, and we will see.
Our approach, because of the time we've had to prepare, and because of the current state of this tournament, which is, you know, extremely high standings. I mean, we're playing extremely good teams, is gambling. We're pretty much gonna gamble a few games and you know, see where it goes. We got a few guys here who played StarCraft, and they know all about gambling, so it's gonna be some poker.
And that's going to be the second team, so please give it up for AAA. All right, and we got the Chinese team here with me now as well. Of course, I'm talking about ROTK, really terrible at spelling names, and Spider from NAA. And we're going to just make a very quick interview so we can get that game rolling. So, Spider, you guys, your team has been here last year already, or rather, last year. The last EMS won, it's not quite a year. And now we see you here again. It's been a bit of a last-minute jump in for you guys. Have you had any time to prepare for that now?
To be honest, we got the 24 hours ago. We got the invite at midnight. So we actually started preparing strats like from midnight to 5 a.m. And it was pretty hectic. So preparation-wise, not gonna lie, not the best for sure.
Are you still feeling a little bit a hint of confidence going into this now, or are you just gonna try your best and see how that works?
It's Vici Gaming. I mean, how can you be confident? But you know, we're here, we're gonna enjoy the games. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's a huge opportunity for us to play Chinese teams, so it's gonna be great. I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
So then let's talk a little bit with ROTK and of course his manager who's going to translate a little bit. You're the Chinese powerhouse. You're at the moment one of the hottest teams over there. What do you think makes that team so good at the moment?
Okay. So he said so easy. So just we play together, and so we are a new team. But we have a lot of great players, and we are very. So we will play just like a team. We are play together, so we can stay here just right now. Yeah.
So you also come in as a replacement for DK. Did you have a little bit more time than they did for preparing? And if so, how did you prepare for coming here?
Oh, so we also had a little time because we got the information you cannot go just last Friday, so we only get 4 days for visa. But our boss said, you go, we can help you in 2 days get a visa. Oh, we trust our boss. So, and then we did it. It's amazing. I think it's a miracle for us to go to here in 4 days, get a visa. Yeah.
Well, we're all very grateful that you got here, and we can't wait to see that game. So I wish both of those teams good luck with that game. And for that, we're going to hand it over to our castles, Melk and Toby1.
Thank you very much, Zoe. We are back here at the casting desk, and I have Melk back joining me again. We're leapfrogging him in and out. And
every second game.
You're back here.
Break for the throat.
Yeah, he's fragile. He's fragile.
I don't know.
Let's talk about the Chinese, man.
I'm very excited.
Let's talk about the Chinese.
I've been saying this all day, but seeing Vici Gaming in action is going to be one of the highlights of my tournament, personally. I can't wait to see what kind of strategies they're coming with. I hope they're not just going with the usual style, although I love watching that as well, so yeah. it wouldn't disappoint. But Group A as a whole is, to me, the hardest group of the two groups.
Yeah, I'd agree with you, man. Like, against all authority, I think they've basically drawn possibly the shortest straw they possibly could. Even though, like, before this, like, you had DK going to be in there too. But Vici Gaming is one hell of a nightmare to deal with. And then you got Na'Vi. No one ever underestimates Na'Vi in a LAN final or LAN event. And then you got Sigma. These guys have been performing amazingly of late.
Yeah, exactly. We saw Sigma at MLG. They were just doing so incredibly well, and they must be disappointed not to make it into the grand finals at MLG. So I think this time around, even with more practice on them, I think they feel confident going up, even against teams like Na'Vi and Vici Gaming. These are the two powerhouses of each of their regions, or continents rather. And Na'Vi coming fresh off a win at DreamHack with a convincing 3-0 win against Fnatic. I think they're feeling very confident, comfortable, as they always do. They've been in so many finals now that Na'Vi's just like one of those teams you expect to go all the way.
Yeah.
And then you have Vici Gaming, who's just like the strongest thing out of China right now. So, I mean, it's a hard task, not only for AA, but also Sigma.
Yeah, their recent results have been amazing. Like, the fact they only qualified second in the qualifier for the EMS is, like, it was before they had their Senior Cup, and before they went into the D2L finals as well to qualify. They qualified in second position for that one as well. But their play style and the way that just the aggressive style, like they have a blend of push, they have a blend of tank, they have a blend of everything. Like, I don't know about you, man, but I got really excited when I said, yeah, we've got some special things prepared. I'm like, oh.
Oh, really? Something other than Bristleback and Dragonite and Pugna?
Yeah, because it's not like anybody else here like they don't really. Like it's a blend of some of the factors.
Yeah, but I'm actually surprised to see if they actually do change their playstyle, because they've been so super successful with what they've been doing so far. So, I mean, why change the winning recipe?
No, I'm with you on that one. But at the same time, you know it's going to be a LAN event, and this is the first time ever that this team has come. Obviously, like, it's only a fresh team, but Vici Gaming coming out of China, and there's only a few teams that have ever done this as well. Like, I go through a list. DK.
In Dota 2, yeah.
Yeah, in Dota 2, it's like DK and Vici Gaming is the second ever to actually travel from outside of China. Like, we had DK come in only for MLG.
Bar the international.
Bar the international, of course. Obviously, we don't count the international for all that kind of stuff, because the international is the international.
Right.
But yeah, to travel out and to basically come over here and play for it, I'm really looking forward to it, and it's game time, man.
Yeah,
it's game time. Let's get into it. It's draft time. With Against All Authority going to be over on the Dire side for this game, and we'll be having Vici Gaming Radiant side for this game. It's the one and only. It's a best of one.
Yeah. So Vici Gaming sit on the first pick. They ban out the Timber Saw. Instantly AA bans off the Ember Titan, the Elder Titan.
The Ember Titan can work. ET basically is a power from another world.
And a follow-up Venomancer ban from Vici Gaming. So
I kind of like that ban as well. Like the Venomancer, we're seeing him a lot more across the European scene, where you've shifted the focus onto controlling lanes more than like your exact combos in the lanes. It's being able to actually control your lanes. And Venomancer is a great hero for doing that. And well, the Prophet being banned out and Visage going to be the first pickup here for Vici.
Interesting first pickup. We've seen them play Crystal Maiden so much, so that they pick up the Visits instead is sort of surprising to me, actually. I figured they might go for some key hero to them. And I don't think Visits has necessarily been instrumental to their success as of late.
Mm-hmm. It's more of an intimidation factor, I feel, with Visage. Like, you can run a defensive lane, and if you run a defensive lane with even just like one more slightly controlling support hero, then you can't do an aggressive tri lane. So then you think, oh, maybe I gotta try and run dual lanes now. And if you run dual lanes, it's quite easy with the Visage for Vici Gaming to actually make their own aggressive tri lane, or they could run defensive as well. Like, it's just such a diverse hero, and when you start getting to later levels, then you start adding in stuns, you are starting adding in familiars, you actually add in an element of split push from this hero as well, while still having him in the middle of the fight. While you might not have the familiars unless you're going to resummon them, they can just keep pushing that off lane and do almost a jump.
I gotta interrupt you on this. This is an interesting second pickup from Vici Gaming. They pick up a Rubik, and there was no risk at all involved with just letting Rubik go through the pool. They just wanted that hero, apparently, and AA just must be so confused right now. They picked up the Weaver and the Alchemist, two very popular heroes right now, even with the Alchemist on support, something we've actually seen Vici Gaming do a lot.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't know if AA is going to actually use it for support, but I'm going to go ahead and
considering
assume
there's a
they
Weaver, like, the only other option is you run him as a solo mid.
Exactly. But then this second pick, Rubik, is really, really puzzling to me, and I can't wait to see what they have up their sleeves. There's a Crystal Maiden ban coming out. Obviously, they're not going to go for any more support unless Rubik is taking up the mid lane role.
It's been a very long time since we've seen that.
I've been talking to Kuroki about it, one of the better-known Rubik players, and he's under the he doesn't feel Rubik is good on support anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the reasoning for it, though?
It doesn't get enough items or levels to fast enough and so forth, and he just wants it on the middle lane instead. If
I'd be interested to see if Vici Gaming try and do that, because that's...
I mean, there's an an Outworld Destroyer ban as well, so...
How about Devourer?
That could go... Oh, you know.
But don't worry, Windranger will be banned out later.
Dota heroes changes names faster than I change pants.
And look at AAA, their bans. Like, they take out Pugna, they take out Luna. They know with a Weaver, if they get heavily pushed, they're going to run out of time, they're going to run out of space, and they're going to run out of it very, very quickly. Even with the Clockwork coming in now, like, he makes a small amount of space. But we've now got basically 2 melee heroes. There's your Bristle.
And this is like even more curious to me. Why would you not go for the Crystal Maiden? Why would you get the Rubik instead?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to question whoever's on top of Chinese Dota right now.
You can't question China, man.
You really can't.
You can't. You're going to accept what they do and then decode what they do.
Just got to let it play out. We have a little shot of Super here listening to... Is that FY? Yeah, I think that was FY. I should really know that.
I don't have a picture book
Oh.
with their names. And unfortunately, this is the first time we've ever met them face to face. Well, actually, not all of them.
No, we know most of them.
Yeah.
They're repeat offenders.
Bane's now going to be the pick up from Against All Authority. So if it is going to be a support Alchemist, look for the Mirana as the last one to come out. But like, what's the combination they're really searching for? Is it just Nightmare to then go into a concoction? Because if that's the case, then we can look for another aggressive style support hero.
It's just as much being out of support heroes that are really good in this current meta game. I mean,
Well,
look at the bench right now.
We've still got all the junglers that are here.
Yeah, but if this is a team that isn't really keen on playing jungler, because not all teams actually like Chen and Enchantress, and if you don't, and there's a Venomancer ban and a Crystal Maiden ban and all other supports are more or less picked up already, then Bane is your go-to hero. They do have the Alchemist as well, so there's some sense of synergy and setup for them, so it's not terrible at all. It's just a lot of ganking from Against All Authority right now. Not a lot of pushing.
Yeah, you're right. Like this almost feels like it's just a later portion kind of game. Like if they go like a Lashrak here, then at least they have some kind of options for early game pushing, and that would be a combination to go with the Bane or the Alchemist or both. So maybe that is something that Sev would look into.
I'm convinced that he is going to build a Medallion of Courage on the Alchemist right away, because they need that minus armor on the Bristleback.
Oh yeah.
And of course follow up with a Desolator on the Weaver if the game does go that far.
But that means they're really going to rush into like. And then again, do you even look at okay? So Storm Spirit's going to be the pickup here from RTK.
I think by now it's safe to say that the Rubik will be a support Rubik.
Yes, definitely. With the Storm Spirit being picked up, unless you're going to run Storm Spirit on the safe lane, that would be the only other thing. I'm feeling right now that's aggressive tri lane. Rubik, Visage, Bristleback all together. Just head up north.
It's possible.
And try and give them a crack. And look for the support heroes mainly. Like, if they try and gank up the Weaver, it's going to be nowhere near as successful unless they have a Sentry Ward and they catch him at the start of Shikuchi. If that happens, Rubik Telekinesis, follow-up Grave Chill, Soul Assumption, Snot, and you got a large amount of negative armor then going to coming from that one. And we're actually going to get... Now, I hope Nahaz is watching, because Nahaz loves when Bans plays this. Bans plays a fantastic Invoker. Like, he's actually a really, really, really good Invoker. So I'm really, really happy that he gets to show this here on the main stage today.
It's going to be interesting. The second time we see Invoker today. Last time we saw it, it was very successful, played by Honey.
I don't think anybody can get those games out of their heads. Like, that was a really good game. But ROTK, like, what's going to be the last one? Like, we got, like, off-lane possibilities. If you're feeling it, then you're going to be up against a Clockwork on the off-lane. So how do you try and run up against the Clockwork? And I assume Clockwork, because now it has to be a support Alchemist. Like Clockwork on the bottom lane, Bane Alchemist up on the top. Maybe they go Bane Alchemist, Weaver on the bottom, Clockwork on the top, Invoker in the mid.
Yeah, I mean,
you just can't run dual lanes with that.
6 months ago, we did actually see some support Clockwork, especially from Team Liquid.
That's true.
It's not out of the question, but it's very unlikely because teams sort of stick to what they know and the current meta game. So we don't really see.
I don't remember AAA doing. Like I remember, like KSI used to do it a lot. Like Virtus Pro ran.
Yeah, Virtus Pro ran that a lot as well.
Yeah. But RTK's got the last selection now, and it's going to be a Lone Druid as the last one. So Silent gets the Lone Druid. Now, that's the hero that could really go well up against a Clockwork. So it looks like we will get our aggressive tri-lane from this.
And so much tankability in the Vici Gaming lineup. They have the Bristleback, now they have a Lone Druid.
Even Storm Spirit's like hard to control unless you got Fiend Script being
used.
He's
very hard to control, and then they have the Visage as well as the Rubik Aura, so there's a lot of tankability. Maybe that's what they were looking for.
Yeah. And you got Rubik, which can also steal the channeling abilities. We didn't even mention that one, where you got Bane, who's going to be channeling the Fiend Script.
Bane is actually going to have a very hard time this game. It's probably one of the easiest heroes to counter with Rubik.
Yeah. It's like you have to make sure you're on the opposite side of the team fight, but still getting the key hero, or at least like a little bit further away.
Or
so you have to walk, or kill Rubik, just Fiend Script Rubik, and then all of a sudden Bristleback is like, sweet, thanks man, I'll come in there and kill you.
I think in this case it would probably be the Storm Spirit that would be Fiend gripped.
Yeah, agreed. At the same time, though, now like you're never going to get it off. Like, you got possibilities of entangles from Bear. If you don't take the Storm Spirit, then he's going to just like jump in and vortex you. You got Rubik Telekinesis, which can stop you to start with, and then he can steal your ability too.
Birds.
And then you got Familiar Birds, which can either kill you or they can just take your just drop down and stun you, so interrupt you as well. Like there's just so many different options right now for the Vici Gaming lineup. I'm kind of with their draft, like almost 100%. But I'm not going to back down on my call of Bans plays a really good Invoker. he has carried this team on Invoker time and time again. So watch him very closely. I think he's going to be the biggest lane we have to watch. That mid lane's going to be the biggest lane we watch. Storm versus Invoker.
It's nice for some of these underdog teams that they can get one of their trademark heroes on the 5th pick because the enemy doesn't really know what to expect.
Especially like Vici Gaming. Like this, they probably never even heard of AAA until like today.
Exactly.
Wow. So they may really surprise him in the mid lane. Because if you asked around about AAA, most people, like if you didn't really like know these guys, like I cast a lot of these guys for like big point battles and ISO cups and things like that. But when I looked at this team, I was like, okay, I know kind of what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. But Vici Gaming, they're coming into this almost blind. Like they would have probably looked at a couple of drafts from previous times, but that's going to be it. Doesn't tell you how these guys play.
But it seems to me that AA wasn't completely like. They weren't convinced that Vici Gaming was unbeatable if they got the Bristleback because they let it through in the second pick phase as well. So they didn't really care too much about Bristleback. And that, to me, is sort of surprising. I don't even know, was DK banned?
No, DK wasn't touched.
Which is also weird because
I
think they have like a 13-game record where they won 12 of those games with Dragon Knight. So not a lot of respect being paid by AA to the hero bans.
Well, they said they're going to do something different, so try and block out what just goes against your strat instead.
Yeah, true.
Maybe that's the way to approach it. We do have ourselves a quick pause inside the game while we wait. It's interesting to see also positioning for heroes. I was wondering if this was going to happen where you see a tri-lane dodge. Like, we were talking about it, it was rather obvious that Vici Gaming were going to try and run an aggressive tri-lane. So when you do that kind of stuff, you can mix it up. And a Weaver on the top lane, I said at the very, very start when we talked about the tri-lane, Weaver is the one you don't want to go on.
Yeah. Because
you can't guarantee the kill on him unless everything works the way it like possibly could, like grab him, the style of Shikuchi. And because of that now, you got AAA going to the bottom lane. So they've got the Alchemist and the Bane.
One thing I want to mark with that real quick is they may just D-ward and nothing else but that. They have the Sentry and Observer Ward, so if they're just on a run to put down a Sentry Ward
and then just
lane,
rotate through, maybe pick up the mid on the way through. Or
exactly, that might be what they're doing. We actually see the Clockwork mark out the minimap right now, showing.
You're right. It's a walk up. In fact, they said up through the river and then attack on mid.
Yeah. That's an attempt for first blood on middle lane. I hope everyone. Well, to be fair, and I mean no disrespect. I don't think Vici Gaming is first of all listening into what I'm saying right now in this break, or actually understand it.
True.
So I think we're all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it appears that AA is going to attempt for a first blood on the middle lane with their two supports. Do they have a smoke as well? They do have it. They have two smokes. So they're going to try and put on some early game aggression, a lot of early game aggression, and really just have lane dominance and let Bans on the Invoker really get his game going.
Yeah. Also, the guys are wearing noise-cancelling headsets. We know a little bit's been slipping. Wait, what? The pigs are coming out right now, but that's from the Bane instead. We're doing what I like to refer to as the VP maneuver, which was always done by NS and Arsat.
Yeah.
Even before the creep wave was changed, they would do this, and it had a very low success rate back then because the creep wave would basically come into this region right here.
Yeah.
So you basically had to block the creep wave so it comes into this region. And this region is where the creep wave now comes, which makes this gank possible. Concoction from the rear, Nightmare from the front. And you already see them level up exactly that.
The thing is, Lone Dredge is still going to stand down in this area, or even further down.
Yeah, it's like you're going to gank the bear.
Yeah, exactly. So he's not going to be that far up unless he really, really wants to harass the Clockwork.
I like your little thing. It looks like a treble clef almost.
It looks like a what?
A treble clef. Have you ever read music?
No.
You have like a bass clef and a treble clef.
Well, good. So anyways, I
will show you a picture later on.
Thank you. I like the initiative coming out from AA. I really hope that this will sort of pay off. They don't have a lot of damage output, though, so they desperately need to get him inside that cog. That's all they can really hope for. He doesn't have a lot of HP. He's an agility hero, after all.
This is... Okay, now, does he walk past this line? This is the primary line right here.
I actually... They have to initiate with the Alchemist. That's the smoke for that added move speed.
The Sylar is really holding back right now. He's not showing himself. And also notice, too, the other two supports on the top lane haven't shown themselves. Now, Speeder shows itself, yeah. It's a real low probability chance of working. And now you got the Vici Gaming lineup. They're smoking up as well. coming down the top river, and they're looking in towards the middle lane, because Bands has already had a little bit of damage. The question I have is, do they run up, or do they run down? That's my question. Because Bands is pretty deep in behind that tower right now.
They can definitely run behind the tower if they want to. There's another creep wave coming in and absorbing the damage. I think they could have gone in between.
Oh!
They actually got him still.
I am shamed.
I'm impressed.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm here all week. It's my first blood I missed. Oh.
I think Sylar just got a bit impatient. It was like, there's no way they're going to stick around when they messed it up. They're going to rotate mid, and then they were still there.
He's just really lucky he has a bear respawn when he comes. And they're going to come, oh, wow, this could be one hell of a kill. If they rotate back around again, yeah, the pings are coming out. If they kill off Sylar again, and he doesn't have a bear for 150 seconds, this is going to cause drastic changing in the Vici Gaming lanes.
Definitely.
And they're
going
coming.
For it.
Yep, there's a haste rune on the Alchemist. They've got this. Bane's going to try and come in through this region. Oh, no, he's still up high. The Concoction will connect. The Sunstrike's coming in as well from the Invoker, and Sylar's going to go down again.
Really, this is exactly what AAA needs to do. They need to take them out of their comfort zone and just really punish the fact that they have weak lanes early on, especially when their supports are on the rotation.
Yeah.
Like, Alone Druid, what can he actually do? Even with 2 heroes, they might have killed him off. I don't think the Bane was even needed then, especially not when there's a Sunstrike.
Yeah. And this is one of those things, too, where I'm like how often is Invoker really picked up down in the China scene? Like, are they, I suppose all of these guys have been playing for so long, they'll be used to Sunstrikes.
And they're not even missing out on experience. Look at this. The supports of AA is actually level 2.5, whereas the Vici Gaming supports, Fenrir just hit level 2. And FY is trying to get some experience.
He's got 61 points into level 1 right now. Like, that's just rough.
And Sylar has a hard time for the next minute and a half. There's 90 seconds on his bear.
We've got moving back up towards the top lane now. So after basically winning on this bottom lane, and Sylar has to tank up everything behind the tower, the Alchemist as well as the Bane are going to go on ROTK because they've left him alone. Like Nightmare, they'll get the full duration Concoction off for this one. In fact, they're not even doing it. Sunstrike, boom, maybe a little bit too premature. He's got his bristles to the back, but Weaver, with a generated attack, is now another kill. At the same time, Visage dies on the bottom lane, while Clockwork will be the casualty of war for that one.
Sorry, I didn't even watch top lane. I was just watching SevTM go ham.
It's trademark.
Okay. Go ham on Vici Gaming on the bottom lane. He was fighting 3 heroes and he didn't care. Like, these early levels on him that he got through those 2 Lone Druid kills was just so good that he just went into them and actually took down the Visage before dying himself. So I really am impressed by what we're seeing from AA so far.
Yeah, man, for a team that's had, what, 24 hours prep and 5 hours to strat, the rest of it being travel time, they're doing amazing. They're doing amazing. But as I said, these guys, like, they've played a lot together. As I was saying also during their interview, they've now just moved in together and got a gaming house. As far as these guys go, they've actually been playing together for a very, very long time. I think I've cast these guys in like 2 separate ESWC, so they've been together for over a year now. So they know how each other's works. It doesn't need like new and funky strats every time. Super's in trouble right now in the middle lane. Looks like another Concoction's done. And Super, he's pulling Bands back in it. If he gets his pickup right now, he will do so. Storm got the kill. FY is coming to drag back the Alchemist. And he's going to die. Ooh. Rubik got the Feybolt off. It was just enough damage to pick up the Alchemist. And that is real. Like, that kill right there, I think is possibly the biggest thing that's happened for Vici Gaming. That's levels for the Rubik.
Not only levels for the Rubik, also great for Super even getting those kills. He actually turned 6 with that and basically did the better trade. And I think Bands missed from downhill, which is why the Cold Snap didn't go off on him. Not entirely sure what happened. But Bands picked up those face boots, so he dealt a lot of damage. Oh, and they're going again on the bottom lane.
Really?
Sylar caught out, and he just resummoned his bear as
well.
well.
No! But then again, maybe this could work because Seb's having a lot of trouble, and then in comes the help Super right on top. He's going to Vortex back in again on the Alchemist. And another 2 heroes lost, and now it's Vici Gaming. They're getting a lot of momentum.
Yeah, and everything AA had going for them is completely gone now. VG is large in charge now. They just completely got the game back within a minute.
It's crazy, man. Like, because we were talking 2.5 minutes ago, Rubik was 62 points into level 1. And he's soloing up the middle lane and is now about to crack level 6 after those kills. Storm Spirit with that level 60 game from the middle lane. Like, he was originally walking out of the base. He wasn't meant to go down there. Realized the problem that was up. So he TP'd himself down there and then burnt most of his mana in order to get there to save his hero. And then the confidence as well from Sylar to actually resummon his bear during the middle of an attack like that, just to get the extra bit of damage. So then Storm Spirit, when he came in, was actually going to be even more effective.
Oh, he didn't resummon it. He just got the bear back from...
Oh, he just recalled it?
When he died the second time.
In that case, I'd take back it.
But on the top lane, watch this. Weaver and RLTK is almost going head-to-head in terms of CS.
How is that?
Only just now is Eel pulling ahead. RLTK, they were actually stuck both at 20 to 20 CS.
It's amazing that offlane Bristleback can do that. But at the same time, I suppose I really shouldn't be amazed because Bristleback is very, very powerful.
Well, most definitely is. Also, he had help in the first 2 waves from his supports.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look. Sylar's running Hand of Midas. How very European. Well, actually, then again, no, it's not. It's just how very Lone Droidish.
He has 2 deaths to his name. Is still the highest on the CS board. It's pretty impressive.
He's the highest net worth, too.
Yeah.
He just used the Hand of Midas and jumped up over the top of the Weaver. How is that even... Is Sylar?
And now he's got that Druid form, so there's no way they can actually take him down. They simply do not have the damage output. They need to invest so much into killing this Lone Druid now, so he's just going to completely run out of control.
Yeah. They basically need the Weaver to be fully up and running by now. But the Weaver's not doing too bad, like 2.9k. You know, it's nothing that like you're gonna like write home about, but it's also not something you'd be ashamed of either. Like he's building faster and faster in towards that Lincoln Sphere. But I'm wondering if Lincoln's is really the way he should go right now. Like,
are you saying he should get Midas?
I'm not saying he should get Midas. Actually, no. In this game, I prefer him not for him not to have Midas, but to go for like some basic defensive item. So it could be a BKB to start with. The Ring of Health can just be something casual, which can transition to a Lincoln Sphere later on. But make sure it's not 28 minutes in. You're going to pick up your Desolator or something along those lines, because by that point, Storm Spirit's already going to be moving around the map, killing everybody. Rubik's going to be stealing your big abilities as well. You can have Lone Druid with a lot of farm, and there's a Storm long jump in. He sniped out the Invis Rune. The Sunstrike's on the way in, but it's not really going to be of that big. Actually, yes, it will be, because it belongs to the Rubik. That was Rubik's Sunstrike that he stole.
I was about to say, it didn't look as if it did, but it completely missed, apparently.
That's also a level 3 Sunstrike that's been stolen. So this is going around the map. In top lane defense, ROTK just comes in to try and take the creep wave aggro. Pull him away from the tower, and now Shikuchi is stolen.
And it's sort of a repeat of the Alliance versus Fnatic game. We saw AA taking the lead early on with some good kills, the same way Alliance did against Fnatic.
Yep.
And then Fnatic just slowly worked their way back into the game. They got 5 kills in a row, got a Midas up and running, and then things just escalated.
Mm-hmm. Man, this is actually quite magical, what they're doing right now. Now, we saw it before, where Super sacrificed himself. He went into the jungle to farm up, and he's trying to get a kill right now, if possible, with a really, really fast Rubik with Shikuchi. He's not fast enough. He was spotted out by the Observer Ward, so they backed themselves up. But they gave, like, Vici Gaming gave space for first the Rubik, and then they gave space for the Visage to find their level 6s.
Right.
Like, they're making sure the supports are racking up the levels. While you look over towards the opposition with AAA, we have... Like Alchemist, I suppose his level 6 really isn't that critical. It's going to be a lot better once these stacks and these pull-throughs get farmed up. But then you've got, like, Bane. He's level 4.5. Like, that level 6 has to come up. It must come up.
And that's from a hero that actually out-leveled the other 2 supports within the first 5 minutes.
It's from a hero that got 2 kills at the start.
Exactly. So he's been sitting on, well, completely out of XP range for the longest time now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just over-sagging himself.
Up, middle lane. Ban's picked up, dragged back. You'll get down some Forge Spirits, but Storm Spirit off already with the Vortex. There's just no escaping from that.
And we're now passing that 10-minute mark, and Ban's is still 400 gold off his Midas. So he's actually going to be sacked for quite some time now.
It's almost at this point where you're like, maybe you should just like skip the Midas. Like, I don't really want to say that for an Invoker because levels as well as items are just so important.
I think he needs to get it still. Even in 10 minutes from now, it's probably still worthwhile saving for. Eel is going straight for the Lincoln. He bought the ultimate orb. He's not even getting power treads. Normally we see the Weavers go for the power treads.
Mm-hmm.
Not this time around, though.
He's going the no boots. Obviously, 1 pair of boots isn't enough for that many legs.
I would still complete the power treads. Like, even after he bought the ultimate orb, I still think it'd be wise for him to get the power treads. It's just so much more damage and move speed.
Yep. Bottom lane. That bottom tower has just been pounded by Sylar for the last, like, 2-3 minutes. And now Familiars are up, and they come in and help him out. Large amount of damage. So First tower of this matchup will go down and go to the bottom lane, and to, in fact, no hero whatsoever. But Sylar just now re-summoned up his bear. He's running the hand of minus over on the bear, so he's already got the high attack speed coming out from that. And he's sitting at 2.4k gold. We're 11 minutes in with 2.4k gold. This gank on super, it's not going to work without, like, yeah, that. They basically need to initiate with Fiend Script to make that work.
Or a very well-timed cold snap.
That would have to be like a perfectly timed cold snap.
Yeah. Is Sylar going to go for Radiant? I think he is. From experience, I think Sylar most always go for Radiant on the bear. I might be wrong, though.
In this scenario, man, I'll be 100% with you that we wins. Unless he wants to go for like dual hand of Midas, would be the only other way.
Bans now has his Midas.
This at least help him out a little bit more. But this Weaver, like Concoction's going to fly down, but oh look, Shukuchi. So they can't even initiate down on this Rubik, who was controlling up the top lane. One of the great heroes too of like pulling the aggro off a lane. Just that Fade Bolt, the range is really, really good. If you do get a little bit too close to, obviously you got the negative damage and Bristleback. Now that's some balls, especially when Clockwork's going to jump in like that. He pops off his one charge as the Sun Strike's on the way in, and that one really does belong to the Invoker, but there's more support with Rubik. He did a lot of damage with that Shukuchi, but in comes Storm Spirit. Super, he's in the middle of 4, but he's 9 men up for the moment. Now he jumps back out of it, and he keeps doing that splash damage. He just keeps bouncing around, off to the side. 3 bottle charges still there, and the Weaver bug will drop off him. He's still being chased down by both Shukuchi as well as this Clockwork, and he's down the river. Shukuchi again, he's got enough for probably one short jump, but that's not really what he wants to do. He wants to get himself back in range of the tier 1 tower. Okay, he's got to do it, because it burned off all of his mana, so there's no way in case they did dive in a little bit deeper they could stop that. But at the same time, Sylar's just having fun on the bottom lane.
That's a very confident Storm play by Super coming out there. He just jumped into 4 heroes. Even after the Nightmare image, he stayed around and just wanted to kill that Bane, and then he started running.
Man, this is just, like, they're kind of jumping. But AAA, they're still not coming out the worst for wear here. Obviously, when you look at the experience graph and the goal graph, it's not looking fantastic for them. But it's kind of like StarTale. You expect a little bit of greatness from them, but you don't expect that much from them.
Well, Weaver's actually going to have like a 15-minute Link Sphere. He has the recipe now. He got that tower kill.
That's really fast.
They picked off 2 kills as well. So he's going to be fairly hard for them to actually kill. Vici Gaming actually needs the Shukuchi from Weaver to actually initiate on him together with Storm and Telekinesis from the Rubik. I see that as the only way they will get him down right now.
Storm, top lane, jump. Sentry Ward went down too, so they got perfect vision of it. And then the Telekinesis. The timing for it, it made it so it was actually impossible to get the time lapse off. I got a funny feeling it was short of mana as well.
That's going to set him back a few minutes. He almost had that Void Stone. Meanwhile, there's a Medallion of Courage up on the Alchemists. Definitely what they need against both Lone Druid and the Bristleback. Relic up on Sylar.
This Radiant's timing is just... It's just so good.
Considering his hard early game,
yeah,
it's pretty good.
Like 14:30, you'd be pretty freaking good for that anyway. But yeah, it's delayed up slightly, but only slightly. He's already sitting at 550 gold. Storm Spirit's waiting to jump up on that top lane. He's building into Orchid as well, and they just saw the stack. This is almost worth like Fade Bolt, Remnant Spam, and the whole shebang. Familiar's going to come in to try and help them out too with their drop downs. They can, well, yeah, the stack's already gone, and that was a quad stack as well. So much experience. That's almost level 10 over on a Rubik. You were talking about what would happen once the aura started coming up on Rubik.
Yeah.
We're almost there. We've already got a level 11 Storm Spirit, so a level 2 ulti. And they're about to jump in. Shukuchi, Telekinesis to start with. Vortex will almost be the follow-up right now, but they need to see him. Time-lapse has been used, so they can Vortex him back in again. And they get another kill. At the same time, AAA do exactly what they always do when they have an Invoker.
But it's like it's a Weaver's worst nightmare, especially before the Linken's. A Rubik and a Storm Spirit are like the 2 best heroes to pick him off when they have the Shukuchi up on the Rubik, because there's no way of seeing the initiate coming unless you have like sentry wards down and are really, really fast. And even then, he's probably going to get it off if he has any Invis detect.
Well, there goes Bans into the Roshan pit. You know, he would actually normally do that solo. If they're being pushed and aggressive, like the enemy's being too aggressive, he'll just do that solo. But he had the help from the Alchemist with both Medallion as well as the 3 levels up in the Acid Spray.
Yeah, and I think I remember now, Bans is always going for this DPS heavy Invoker build where he goes into an Orchid straight away.
Yep, every time. Sylar, trouble. Clockwork's going to hook in. Not the best combination right there, but they do still get him inside the cogs nonetheless and get the kill on the lone Druid.
Sylar actually had for his Radiance recipe, but didn't bank it in time.
Darg. Probably get a lot more money, especially with that top lane push in.
It's going to mean
another
death of the bottom tower, but AA definitely not a pushover by any means.
I'm wondering, though, if they can actually kill off this tower, or at least in time, because this top lane's being pushed out. Obviously, it's only by a Rubik as well as a Storm Spirit, but then again, both of those guys are level 11. Okay, so the tower does go down. They have more than enough. I kind of underestimated their damage up against buildings.
Yeah.
Familiars are hanging around to watch this top lane. Sev just scouting out with a couple of rockets, and Ban's managed to pick up one of the Familiars. All goes to the kitty.
RLTK has a mechanism on the Bristleback now, so I think we're looking into Vici Gaming potentially pushing with that Radiance. They don't really feel like they have to sit back and just farm. They can push.
Well, as far as 5-man fights go, like you're still going to say you had the upper hand, but with the speed of this Linken's over on a Weaver, I'm not quite sure they do. Like, they've got to trigger it every single time now, which means what they were doing before is not going to be enough. Like, they were having the Storm jump in and had the Rubik use telekinesis, or these kind of abilities. Like, you start using those kind of abilities to trigger off a Linken Sphere, you won't be able to grab him and hold him.
I think even with the Medallion, when the Bear runs in with the Radiance right now, it's too much damage for them to actually cope with. They don't dish out enough damage for the Bear to actually go down fast enough. They need DPS items up on the Weaver, not just on Invoker. So until the Desolator is up and running, I see this Radiance Bear really, really destroy a... Let's see. I'm not even sure they're going to push with it, but I hope and think so.
Well, Sylar rotated in towards the middle lane at the same time he sent his Bear back to pick up the Radiance recipe.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure you're going to see a level of push, but it's going to come with Sylar being the obvious... Wait, they just double smoked.
But there's so much armor...
2 coats, people. 2 coats. Don't let that paint crack.
There's so much armor reduction in the AAA lineup. They have the Acid Spray, they have the Medallion of Courage, they have the Beetles from the Weaver. They even have the Forged Spirits that per each attack...
Oh, I like this. Sentry wards at the back so they can check for it, but the Snot's already started. And Storm Spirit, he jumps on the Bane. He'll never even get his Fiend's Grip off. Deafening Blast pushing back, or at least the Visage, but then the Aegis Immortal triggers. They move over towards the Alchemist. So far, flawless victory, but then again, the Visage dropping very, very low, but able to get another Soul Assumption off, and they just keep fighting. Time lapse out, but the Orchid now comes. So Storm Spirit jumps up, not enough for a Vortex. Even then, it's being on cooldown, but he'll pop from the Orchid. The only one to survive was actually the guy who had the Aegis the Immortal triggered. And Vici Gaming didn't lose anything. And what does he steal? He stole Deafening Blast before, and he stole exactly the same thing again.
And that's it. Sentry's not going to reveal these smokes.
Oh, Sunstrike? No. I thought for
a bit of harass.
What level is that even? That's not bad. It's 350 damage, but it's not enough to get a kill on these guys.
There's just so much tankability in Bristleback and Lone Druid, especially at this point in time. They're 19 minutes into the game, and there's this Radiance. You saw the Weaver, even when Invis running through, like, just the Radiance burn and the Quill sprays, dealt so much damage to him that he had to time-lapse out.
Mm-hmm. I don't even need the vision to try and do it. But once, like, could you imagine also what's going to happen once Lone Druid picks up something like a gem, and you put that on the Bear or Lone Druid?
Yeah, Nerubi and Weaver already have a hard time as it is. I'm starting to wonder whether the Rubik pickup was for the Weaver alone. It's a bit, like, a lot of teams do this, and I've never felt that it justifies it on its own. The fact that they picked up a Bane Elemental just makes it a lot better. But that was after the Rubik pickup.
Yep.
I wonder if Vici Gaming is just under the impression that if someone picks a Nerubi and Weaver in their initial picks, our support pick is just going to be a Rubik regardless, because you've seen him. He's picked up that Tsukuchi more than any other spell.
Yeah.
Granted, it's probably the best spell for him to pick up.
It's the easiest initiation.
Exactly.
And the funny thing is, like, we were talking about, like, Bane unable to get a Fiend's Grip off. Like, I'm still massively surprised that, like, Vici Gaming, out of everybody they initiated on, like, that mid-fight, they started on the Bane.
Yeah.
Bane was the initial call-out. Like, they didn't want Enfeeble, they didn't want Nightmare, they didn't want any of these abilities. Just like bottom lane, they don't want this Clockwork to survive. The Orchid would pop him off right now, no matter how much more damage is done by Vici. So Clockwork's on the sideline, Concoction's coming out, but this could be a turnaround time. Tornado will fly, but he can't concoct anything. The Bear will come in, and look at the burn already on Bear. It's the Deafening Blast that was stolen before. Now he'll actually steal a Tornado. Goes through, it was too short. And then the Alchemist will still die anyway. So another 2 heroes taken out in this bottom lane. And Vici Gaming, they are really rolling so much momentum right now, nearing, actually the experience is about 14,000 going their way and rising.
Yeah, they're absolutely relentless in their pushing right now. They know they're just so much stronger with this bear and the bristleback.
Yep.
So I think they're just going, they're going to go for the base. They haven't really been hurt. The only one who's lost HP is Fenrir, and that's by, like, it's such marginal damage, and they still have the mechanism on the bristleback. They can easily just take Raxes here, especially because the only thing that AA really have to defend with is the Acid Spray comboed with some of the Invoker spells, but Invoker's just not high enough level right now.
Yep. Lone Druid is just pushing that bear up. And Weavers keep ticking down while this happens. We'll have a quick pause out. And man, this is the kind of time when I sit there, and I remember, I don't know, actually, I remember telling you this. And I said, Hand of Midas will just be a phase. It'll go out after like 2 or 3 weeks.
Are you the prophet of Dota?
I want to be the prophet of Dota in this scenario.
Right.
But just because this kind of stuff can happen. You get pushed down. Weaver can't do anything at this stage of the game, even though like, he got one of the fastest Lincoln Spheres I've seen in a very, very long time. Tornado from Bands. Oh, wow. Nice deafening blast. And the Meteorite. And then Soul Assumption damage. And they just nuke him straight back again. Pull on the Weaver. He had time left, but can't do it. There's your first Fiend Script. And he did it on the Rubik of all people. And AAA have just backed into a corner. They're being snot on and having their racks destroyed. Clockwork, he's got hook shot that if he hooks in, he just commits suicide. It's that simple right now. And with the tank ability of this Vici Gaming lineup, they can just go from racks to racks and kill to kill. And they had the tier 2 tower down already. And we got, what, a BKB now already in the bristleback. Clockwork, he jumps in. And they call it GG as Clockwork does it. So, 22 minutes.
And I want to say it, Toby, this was just absolutely super play by Vici Gaming, and it was super.
Yeah.
Super was so good on that Storm Spirit. He just made everything happen. He made the complete turn of the game. They ganked on mid lane. They failed it. He actually managed to kill the Invoker before he died himself. Then as he respawned, he TP'd on the bottom lane and turned a almost certain kill on Sylar into a double kill in favor of Vici Gaming instead.
Yep.
And he just really, really turned that desperate early game around for them and just allowed Sylar to farm up that Radiance. Meanwhile, RHK farming up his mechanism and the 2 supports doing a great job at getting experience, so they could just execute their gameplay and playstyle easily, flawlessly almost.
Yeah, well, apart from the start.
Exactly.
The start was just that little bit shaky, but yeah, it was...
Super and FI really, really carried them into the mid game, and then they just ended it.
Yep. And it was with so much confidence as well, like that Storm jump on the top lane.
Yeah.
Like when he did this, it's like, okay, now most will probably say, the fight's not really going to work. But like Super was sitting there going, well, I've got all this AoE damage which I can do. And AAA were grouped in like a pyramid of 4. So every single time he threw it out and then he would slow him down, then he would jump again, then slow him down, and then jump away, and then slow him down.
But that's really what makes the difference between a good player and a truly great player. You just know how to push your hero to the extreme.
Yeah.
And he did that.
Yeah.
He went into 4 heroes, picked off the Bane, and just ran casually out of there. He even like let off a Remnant, something I was puzzled about. He let off a Remnant instead of trying to consume save mana for his ultimate.
Yeah.
Then he kept on running and just bottled up. So he didn't even mind the fact that he harassed them a bit with the Remnant. He wasn't scared at any point in time. He knew he was going to get away.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you'll probably remember it, and I always love referring to this kind of stuff whenever we see the Chinese teams. But you remember when eHome came to ESWC, and all the captains from the European teams were lined up, and you all stood there, and you're like, you still don't know how they got away. I was casting those games with Matt Mordigan back in those days, and we were sitting there just going, like, this guy's got like 10 HP, and every time he gets away, because the players just know their limits. They know how far they can push the hero.
That was Weapon X, right? Die.
Yeah, that was X that was causing all the problems.
Yeah.
That was back when he used to play solo mid.
Yeah, he was, that was next level. That was the first time I really saw truly great Dota. I mean, been in the game for a long time. I've seen a lot of Dota, but standing behind him and seeing how he outplayed Light of him, and I mean, completely outplayed one of the greatest legends in Dota.
For the European scene, yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, die-hard fan of Die from then.
Yeah, but it's crazy to see how it's transitioned over that time as well. Like, we've gone from that period where we never even knew anything about Chinese Dota. Chinese replays were released 1 month after the game was actually played because they didn't want to have any of the secrets being given out. So all the games were played out in very much hush-hush secret kind of thing.
Yeah.
And now we've got the Chinese world exposed, and we're having Chinese teams coming in here for wonderful events like the EMS Fall Finals. It's fantastic. And of course, we're going to go over to the manager of Vici Gaming, with Zoe.
Thank you very much. And I now have the manager of Vici Gaming here joining me. You guys just won their first match. However, at the beginning of that very game, it very much looked like it could go into AAA's favor. How does the team get back from such a kind of miserable start, you think?
Okay, so we have played such games for several times, so which AA played very well at first time, so but we just adjust ourselves and hold all of the cards, so, and finally we win the game. So I think it's a really normal game for us. Yeah.
So in terms of being prepared for your opponents, obviously you heard of Navi and the likes and maybe even play against them, but AAA is not really well known, I guess, over in China. How do you prepare for such teams? Do you prepare for such teams at all?
Not really, because we have too many tournaments in China, so we have prepared only for China teams. So we come here just, we know Navi, we just prepare for Navi and Aliens, so we don't prepare for AAA, just because we only know because first our option is Mouse. We just know AA just come here yesterday, so we don't make any preparation. Yeah.
Do you think that could be a problem at one point to like be surprised a little bit too much because you don't know what's actually coming at you?
I think not. I think not. Yeah.
That's confidence speaking of a manager. No, that's great. So I won't hold you off much longer. I want you to get back to the guys as they do have to prepare for the next match. How do they prepare? Are they actually going to watch the game and now just like kind of take notes of that? Or?
I think they will watch the game first. Yeah.
All right, so we wish you guys good luck and further in the tournament. And we're going to head into a quick commercial break. And afterwards, we should be back with Sigma going up against Navi. So definitely stay tuned. We should be right back.